Good morning. Okay. Shannon's just going and grabbing a drink real quick. All right. Good morning, everybody. Got my tea.
How many people we got?
There's a little over 350 people already.
Oh, it's quaint right now.
I know, compared to yesterday, it's all chill.
Yeah. Best
Good
available.
morning. Good
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
I know, isn't this cup the cutest? Shannon got it for me because I love Dumbo. The live action Dumbo movie.
She's one of the few that loves the Dumbo movie.
I don't understand why. I love that movie.
So I've got some players on the board here considered like the best of the remaining players. We'll see where they go.
Oh, see, somebody else's wife loves Dumbo. I really like Dumbo. It's one of my favorites.
No trades yet. Atkinson's buyout went through, but no trades yet.
Who would Shannon want to play him in a biopic?
Chris Hemsworth.
You do look just like him.
I do. The resemblance is uncanny. I mean, I'd end up with Danny DeVito, but still.
Did they ever track down the prospects' jackets? We don't know because we won't see the same kids today.
Yeah, we don't. And they don't go up.
How early is it? Here it's 8:30.
It's 8:30 in the morning, so.
I still have my morning voice. Are you going to get that boring Utah jersey?
Yeah, I'll probably get the black one.
Can you explain to me why, when teams have signed European players, say, I have to go through waivers?
If a player starts the season in a pro league outside the U.S. or outside of North America, they have to go through waivers coming back over. At least they did. I'm pretty sure they still do. Part of the CBA.
Who would play Vaughn in the movie, and what about Bublé? Well, Mike would play himself.
Who would play you in the movie?
He can do.
I still say Melissa Rauch. I still say Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory. So I look like Chris Hemsworth, and you look like Bernadette from Big Bang Theory. See? You're welcome. Oh, Bill Daly's making the announcements today.
We are in Western Canada. We live about an hour from Vancouver, depending on the traffic. Why are you wearing Calgary?
Why not? I went through all the teams, and I was like, I don't know if I've worn Calgary for a while, so yeah, I'll wear Calgary. And she wore Seattle because people browbeat her into it yesterday.
No, because yesterday, my hair is doing something special. Yesterday, I was debating between the two. And so I decided today I would wear Seattle. I haven't worn this jersey before. I'd actually cut the tag off.
It's a nice jersey.
I really like the Seattle colors. I like the Seattle colors a lot. I think they're nice.
So the Sharks are up first. Nobody goes to the podium today. Not that anybody was allowed to stand behind Gary's podium yesterday. I wonder if Gary took that out when the first round was done.
The podium?
I pictured him just picking it up, putting it under his arm, and just walking off.
I don't need this anymore.
This is mine. It says mine. It's mine. You know, taking a bat. Come on. Back off my podium.
Dumbo is holding a London fog this morning. I thought that sounded pretty good.
I'm drinking a Sprite Zero. I don't need the caffeine yet.
Caffeine doesn't affect me in any way, so
it definitely
that never
affects
plays in any part in what I choose to drink.
Before the street hockey today, I'll have some caffeine, but not yet.
How did people like Utah's jersey yesterday? They didn't.
They really didn't. Oh, is that Chernyshov going first of today's?
Let's go, Aaron.
Yep. All right, so there's one.
It is a big. Well, it's a teacup. It's not a coffee cup because I don't drink coffee. I think coffee's gross. But tea is great, and I do need a big Herkin cup of tea.
Yeah, you do. Big old Herkin one there. Okay, so Chernyshov goes 33rd overall to San Jose. That's good. He was ranked on Elite Prospects list. He was 21st on the consolidated rankings. So that's a pretty good move by San Jose.
Good morning from Shoe Swap. And that's the correct opinion, Yvonne. Coffee is terrible. Right? I've tried a few times, but you just have to put so much into it to make it taste palatable.
Yeah.
Pass. Hot chocolate. My kiddos like hot chocolate, but I don't do sugar. So
yeah.
I do have some sugar-free hot chocolate, but it's not the same. If you buy tea by the kilo, the price is great. That's true.
So yeah, San Jose did all right. Celebrini, Dickinson, and then Chernyshov. Nicely done.
You're making me feel insecure for 3 to 4 cups a day at university. I drink tea all day long. I always have a cup of tea, so I am not going to say anything about how much of anything anybody drinks.
Badinka goes to Carolina. I have him on the board too. There we go. And this is in the order that they were on the Elite Prospects list too. So he goes 34th to Carolina.
So the Sabres made a trade with the Caps.
Can't be anything major. Always drives me nuts how now it's not the Sportsnet guys that do this. They get lazy at this point.
Oh yes, we had that problem.
They just rebroadcast the American one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just draft pick for Beck Mallenstein.
Where are the trades at?
Well, Mallenstein was just traded by the Capitals for the 43rd pick from Buffalo. So Buffalo had 42 and 43. They're not going to be drafting back to back. Oh, Lucas Pettersson going to Anaheim. That's another one off the board.
Celestial Seasonings Wild Berry Zinger Herbal Tea is great, especially when it's cold. They also make a peach one that's really good. I like my fruit teas iced. I don't generally like hot fruit tea, but iced. And then, so I usually make them in a pitcher and put it in my fridge, and then it's all ready. And I love peach tea. We have a really yummy peach one.
There's Columbus. So Charlie Elick goes there.
Sportsnet usually only cares about first round.
Yeah, it's just weird.
True.
Okay, so Elick goes 36th overall to Columbus.
What is this? A frickin' tea stream. You're welcome.
I think so, yeah. That's a good idea.
I was telling Shannon after the live stream yesterday that sometimes the chat gets really away from hockey.
Yep.
And
we can try to bring it back.
We don't mind, but sometimes I try and kind of steer it back, but it is tricky when the whole chat will be on a different topic. Like yesterday it was music. I would try and find some hockey questions every once in a while because some people wouldn't want the music chat, but
see, but the irony is on the Entertainment Guy, it's all hockey questions.
That's true. Yeah.
So when I do an Entertainment Guy live stream, I get all the hockey questions.
Yeah, and on there I try and avoid the hockey questions, and that's unless that's all that everybody.
I just assume that it's a matter of, I talk hockey all the time. The other stuff people don't know about me, so they ask the questions they maybe don't know. So Alphonse Friege goes to Winnipeg. Winnipeg drafts him 37th.
Draft round 2 through 7 is about as exciting as a trip to Winnipeg.
Well, yeah, Free's just going to Winnipeg. So, okay, Colorado's on the clock. They, of course, didn't have a pick yesterday. This takes care of a lot of the teams that didn't have a pick yesterday, actually.
Do you think Utah or Colorado won the trade yesterday?
I don't think you can pick a winner when it's draft picks. I think when it's draft picks, really it's hard to pick a winner. Ilya Nabokov, drafted 38th by Colorado, is a goaltender. So the first goalie goes at 38th to Colorado.
Oh, there we go. Oh, love the cartoon Dumbo. Me too, but the live action is my favorite. It's one of my favorite movies, but I really like Tim Burton, so the cartoon movie makes me cry every time. Cinnabon, do you have to? No, it's licorice. Doing that? It's licorice. Why are you throwing it?
I figured. Cinnabon doesn't dig through and throw the food. Licorice does. I don't want this crap. I don't want this crap. He just
where's all my favorite pieces? Yeah. Like toddlers, furry toddlers.
Hey, Crash.
How many jerseys does Shannon get paid from Bettman?
Not enough.
That's what I was thinking.
Pretty soon it's going to be, well,
please adopt me. We have more children than we want anyway.
Yeah, we don't want kids. We've decided we shouldn't have children.
We do frequently tell our children that we shouldn't have children.
So
they're really obnoxious.
Ottawa picks Gabriel Eliasson, who's 6'7", 206. He's a defenseman. So some big defensemen going to Ottawa this year.
What should Vancouver look for this draft for the future team?
The Canucks don't have an early draft pick, so you just take best player available and hope that your scouts got it right.
That's a big boy.
Julius Mietinen goes to Seattle. I assume it's Julius since he's Finnish, not Julius.
Right. Oh, somebody's asking what channel this is on in the States, so maybe somebody on here can respond. Here it's on Sportsnet.
See, it looks like it's the NHL Network. It's usually also on ESPN Plus, but I'm guessing yesterday. NHL Network because it's NHL Live. So that's NHL Network.
NHL Network and ESPN Plus. There you go. Yeah. I knew the chat would know. Who's the winner of the first draft? You mean the first round?
I know people weren't that happy with Chicago's first pick because they passed on Demidov, but I thought their second and third picks in the first round were good. I think San Jose did really well for themselves. And I think it worked out pretty well. There you go. Calgary drafts one of the guys that's on the board. So now that justifies me wearing a Flames jersey. So there you go. Andrew Basha.
Why aren't Seattle taking any defensemen?
They may not feel those are the best players available when they're making their draft. So 41st overall, Andrew Basha goes to Calgary. Now Buffalo's on the clock. That was the other jersey I was thinking about wearing was Buffalo. And I thought, now I'll wear Calgary. I like wearing Calgary. It's weird because I don't really cheer for Calgary, but I've always liked wearing Calgary.
They have fun jerseys. They do.
I was saying I was going to wear the Calgary Wranglers, the horsey one, but that's a black jersey. And I thought, that's going to mess up the camera. So I didn't.
True.
Adam Kleber going to Buffalo at 42. Answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Love the Blasty logo.
I really like that Wranglers. You know what? I'll go over and grab that. Oh, there's a trade alert. Oh, this will be the draft pick for draft pick trade.
Yeah, someone commenting on how all the guys that are being drafted are tall. It's generally how it works. They want the big boys.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't worn this
that
one in a video.
That is frequently how it works.
I haven't worn this one in a video yet, but that's one of my favorites now of the Calgary jerseys. I thought about wearing that, but
the black Calgary jerseys are amazing. They do look really nice, don't they?
I'm just surprised that the Calgary Flames have never had the Blasty from the side like you've got with the Wranglers there. It looks really, really nice. Hey, Bun Bun. Hi, B. Come here. Come here. This is the little rabbit who's chewing on crap in the background, and I half the time
the other bun's at my feet. Oh, he's going to talk to Shadow.
Sometimes I have to pause videos because you don't, sweetie.
He's a good bun.
Hey, Grace.
Happy Saturday.
Come here. No, come here. Bun. Hey, Grace.
Cinnabon's like, hey, do you have food?
Here, come here. Come. Hey. Here. Don't tell the internet.
Rabbits are way too cute. They are. They are so stinking adorable, and they know it. Like, no.
Did you see that?
Yes.
I went to pick up Liquor. She just jumped over my head. No. Not picking me up. Why are you so cranky, old man?
You were right last night when you said Canada's own Rich Little was the best impersonator.
Why? He's a cranky bun this morning, aren't you?
Gosh, look at this.
Why are you so cranky? That's Licorice.
Yeah. Big old tuft.
The cranky bun. I have to put him down because he will bite.
He's definitely not a huge bunny. Our bunnies are quite small.
Yes.
All
of bunnies go, they're
all of our
small.
rabbits are small.
Okay, so Cole Hudson goes to Washington, 43rd overall.
Sergachev to Utah for Mosher. Kiki, Toronto, 2nd, 2025. How long until a Canadian team wins the cup?
I mean, it could happen next year. It almost happened this year, so it can happen next year. Yeah, Sergachev traded to Utah. So there you go. I'll have a trade video once this second round through. See, look how fast they're going through this round. They've already got 12 picks done.
Always. This one always goes really fast.
It's
it gets
frustrating
faster
to me
and they stop showing it.
Because it's like, okay, so during the first round, it's 4 hours for BS reasons. It is 4 hours for no reasons. Like I've seen people pointing out that the clock counted down to 0 and nothing happens.
Yeah, there were a lot of people saying, so the clock doesn't matter. Got it.
Well, they just sit there. They're not on the phones. They're not looking at lists. They're not poring over who they're going to draft. They're just sitting there staring straight ahead.
I honestly don't know how you can watch it if you're not in Canada or the States. I don't know. We have it on Sportsnet. Americans have it on ESPN. And what's their other one?
They should stream it on YouTube. In this day and age, there's no excuse not to stream it on YouTube.
I'm surprised it's not even on there.
And I understand the irony of me saying that. I understand the irony of that.
Where we're able to watch games on our app, but we can't. We don't have this. So I don't know.
Ryder Ritchie goes to Minnesota. That might be a steal for the Wild.
Sportsnet has to have a TV show. They have to wait for people to stop talking and the interviews with the players. That's it.
Okay, so Ryder Ritchie goes 45th overall to Minnesota. Oh, I didn't tell you. Puckpedia broke a trade yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, JJ Mosier, Connor Geekie, a second round next year. 199 this year for Sergachev. You know what? I know people are going to crap all over that trade, but Connor Geekie's a top prospect. JJ Mosier's a good top 4 defenseman. I think he's been underrated for a long time. It's an interesting move by Utah. It's a pretty aggressive way of saying we're not going to be trampled on in the West next season.
Will the Shock Llama be in play today?
Probably for the trade. Probably for the Sergachev trade, because nobody saw Sergachev getting traded.
Who was picked 44th?
Harrison Bernicki, and I don't have him on the list. Yeah. What I have here is this is a list of the players who were ranked the highest on the consolidated rankings for elite prospects, and I'm just putting up when they get drafted and by who. So
3 cheers to Shannon for keeping the channel politics free.
Yep, I'm happy that people are passionate about politics at this point in time. It's just hockey.
You can find it everywhere else.
I need a break from it as much as anybody else. It's just Tanner Howe gets drafted by Pittsburgh 1 spot ahead of Detroit. That's criminal. His last name's Howe. He has to be drafted by Detroit. But no, Pittsburgh drafts him. What are we even doing here? Why? I don't get it. I hope Detroit drafts a guy named Lemieux or Yager next. Just for that.
Is it Canada Day? No, that's on Monday.
We spend Canada Day dealing with free agency.
Canada Day is hockey again.
Yeah.
But it's only in the early morning. So
yeah, it's like April Fool's Day. We only celebrate Canada Day early in the morning.
That's not true.
That's what you just said. It's only early morning.
Hockey is only in the morning of Canada Day. So we're still able to go to all of the
now in the second
stuff.
round. Second round, you don't get showgirls. The showgirls aren't there now. You just get to hand them off to Coat Lady. And then she walks you up. So like PR takes them. So I'm pretty sure they're going to get their jackets back because these are NHL PR people.
Disappointed that Yzerman didn't draft Yzerman.
Yeah. And Howe didn't go to Detroit. Like it could have been Yzerman and Howe drafted by Detroit. What are we doing? Why do we have drafts if we're not going to do awesome things like Yzerman and Howe being drafted by Detroit?
They are definitely still in the sphere.
Yep.
I think
seizure-inducing sphere
screen looks obnoxious for this, but I did see in the comments there were a few people saying that they were there live, and it looked way better live than it looks on TV.
It would. There's way too much detail for even with this TV to work with.
With on the TV, to me, it looks like that would be just a lot. That's a huge screen, and it's not like you're watching a show.
I have a 75-inch TV. Just for the obnoxiousness of it.
I think it would be different if you were just sitting there watching a show, but since you're not, it's a lot.
That's why when like there's a replay and people are like, I don't know if that was across the line. Yeah, it was, because my TV's just huge. So I just get up close. Yeah, that's across the line. I don't know why the NHL doesn't call me. They need to start calling me.
They're just watching on tablets.
Just call me. Yeah, no, it's across the line.
That probably takes Utah out of the Marner discussions, right? Marner looking more likely to stay now, I guess.
No. Utah has like $40 million in cap space. They have a ridiculous amount of cap space. If they want Marner to go with Sergachev, they can absolutely pull that. Absolutely. Detroit's been on the clock for a while. I think they're working on a trade here.
Sensory overload. Absolutely.
Oh,
no, we are not showing the TV.
Or made the draft. Max Plant goes 47th.
It's nice not waiting 10 minutes between each pick.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's almost like if they wanted to, they could make the process a lot faster.
But then they couldn't have it for 4 hours.
Right. It's such an interesting deal. Connor Geekie is a good prospect. I think that deal could work out well for both teams.
Feel like everything these days is bright and flashy, especially commercials. It's ridiculous.
What I learned when I worked for a Microsoft adjacent company is that you get people that do things in development, and when you develop it, you have to justify its existence. So there's a lot of the graphic upgrades and stuff they do that I'm like, you don't need that, but somewhere there's a graphics guy who made it, and so they have to keep their job, and they have, we're in development. I never understood, like, because half the time they'd come out, we got this new bells and whistles. I'm like, yeah, it does that. Why did we turf it? Well, tell the customers it's a better experience. The customers are telling us it's not. So how do I tell them they're wrong about how they feel about something? And so when I see that with all the graphics, and I agree, there's way too much crap all over the screen these days, and there's way too much flashing garbage everywhere. That's always the way I figure it is. Somewhere somebody is making some money.
Obnoxious. And I would think in that same vein, all the TVs and movies with music all the time.
The one thing I laughed at too, Microsoft was obsessed with getting rid of DOS. They were like, we have to get rid of DOS. And I'm like, you can't. Windows runs on DOS. You can't get rid of it. We will. You can't. And they still haven't.
So we trade for an older Mac and traded away a younger Sergachev. I hate it. I guess it's because Mac has less term. I don't know. I don't get where this team is going.
It's tough for me because I like JJ Mosier a lot. I think he's a very good defenseman. I think he's underrated because he's been playing for the Coyotes. I think this was a contract thing with Sergachev, and just, I mean, he got hurt a couple of times last season too, so there's the injury risk there. And again, Geeky's a pretty good young player.
Marino to Utah. See a bunch of people saying Marino to Utah.
Because Utah doesn't have a defense. The only guy they had under contract was Kolyachonok. That's it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, they had no defenseman.
Not sure if I missed it. Any word on the salary cap for the new season?
It's $88 million this year. It's going up by, I think that's about $3.5 million. But yeah, it's, or 2.5. Either way, it's gone up, and it's supposed to go up again next year as high as 92 or 92.5 million. But yeah, they're showing John Marino's been acquired by Utah. The Canucks were in on Marino.
There has been a goaltender drafted.
Yep. And now there's been a second goaltender drafted. New Jersey just drafted Mikhail Yegorov. So that's 2 Russian goalies. Yeah, Ilya Nabokov went 38th overall to Colorado. That's the first goalie I made sure I got that on the board.
Mm-hmm. Utah coming in real hot today. LOL.
Yep. And everybody laughed when I said they could have a good team next year. No, they can't. They're Arizona. There's all kinds of cap space. They're dealing with almost a clean slate. Coyotes fans have to be pissed.
Did you guys like Kraken's pick yesterday, considering who is still available?
I like that they drafted somebody from Spokane. I think that was good. That's gonna be motion detector, isn't it?
No, I haven't turned that on. Not when we're doing a live stream. I don't need it buzzing every couple seconds. We are not showing the TV. Not doing it. Still not doing it.
Nope. That would be violation of copyright, and the NHL's pretty sticklerish about the copyright thing.
For these rounds, we are not writing down all the drafts.
No.
It becomes absolutely impossible. We tried it, years ago.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's going pretty fast now.
It goes fast, and then there's a lot of trades of draft picks as well. So then I'm like, okay, I got to switch that, and I got to switch that.
And they'll start doing commercials, and they'll just skip, and so you have to go back, and it's a big pain. So yeah, we will not be writing every single pick down. Nope. It's not possible. Just hopped off the live stream for a second. What's this about Sergachev?
Sergachev was traded to the Utah, formerly known as Arizona Coyotes. Okay, I need a Carolina one from over here.
This T-stream has a lot of hockey.
Okay, so Artemonov goes to Carolina. So that's another pick that was seen as one of the best of the remaining. And so I think Carolina did well for themselves here.
Given the trade of Sergachev to Utah, is Stamkos deal a done deal? Done deal.
I don't know if that means Stamkos is staying. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Could very well be an indication that they're trying something else. Maybe there's somebody else they have their eye on for July the 1st.
Need to get you a new magnet for the Ducks rebrand.
I have some of their old Mighty Ducks logo.
But the new orange one.
You always laughed at me for getting like old classic stuff. You're like, why'd you get old stuff? That's stupid.
Not true.
I only like new things.
That's not true.
Yeah. Jack Berglund goes 51st overall to Philadelphia. He's 6'4", 210 pounds. These are some big kids.
Thoughts on Trouba to Detroit?
Trouba to Detroit. Well, I haven't heard that rumor necessarily be. That contract is a tough one. That contract's a tough one. So we'll see what Detroit does. But I mean, he let Wallman go. So once Wallman was out, we knew something was going on with their blue line. So Trouba may very well be one of those guys who can get them into the playoffs. For Detroit, they have to get into the playoffs next year.
Can we compare Demidov to Pavel Bure?
Different players. They're both wingers, but very, very different players. I don't think Demidov's going to put up goals like that. I think he's a more well-rounded player than Bure was when he came up.
Tampa freed up $8.5 million, dumping Sergachev. They can sign. Where to go? Oh, Stamkos.
Oh, they can sign him, but is that a smart move with $8 million? Like I'm fine with Stamkos staying, but I'm also fine with Tampa Bay deciding to go in another direction since Stamkos is 34, and it's a pretty interesting free agent class. Ebon, what are you looking for? You looking for crumbs?
Tampa needs to rebuild.
I don't think they need to rebuild. I think now's a good time to do like a bit of an adjustment, pick up some younger guys and try to reload a little bit. I'm a fan of a general manager deciding to take that risk of letting a key guy go just to free up that money. Leon Muggley goes to the Washington Capitals at 52. 53, Leo Saline Wallenius goes to San Jose.
What does this all mean for the future of the Lightning? You kind of addressed that.
I like Mosier. Mosier's a good top 4 defenseman. And Connor Geekie is a pretty good prospect. Like Arizona has a ton of prospects and draft picks. They can weaponize those along with their cap space and improve their team overnight. Hey, Bun.
Utah doing some wild things.
We knew they were going to be aggressive. They don't want to look like an expansion team next year. They want to look like a contending team.
Nobody's taken Palat's contract. We're stuck with him.
We'll see.
Could we still be contenders next year, in your opinion? That's Tampa.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
With the right moves, but it's not a given. When you get knocked out in the first round in 5, it's not a given that team's going to be a contender the following season. But they still have Vasilevsky, Kucherov, Hedman. Pretty good core with Braden Point, Hagel. There's a pretty good team there still. So with the right moves, they can get back into contention.
Utah has excellent ownership. Stoked for that state.
But again, if you're a Coyotes fan, today would tick you off. Like, okay, now that the team's moved, now they're picking up really good players. Awesome.
I think Chicago makes a trade soon, either player for player or a second-round pick.
If they're gonna make a move on a second-round pick, they're gonna have to do it quickly. Teddy Stiga goes to Nashville, and that's 55th overall. So Aaron Kiviharju is the only one left of the top prospects on the consolidated list, keeping in mind that, yes, Kiviharju had a major injury that's caused his stock to drop precipitously. So Stiga could be a steal for Nashville.
A lot of people talking about Utah.
They should. And look at that. You're gorgeous. See that? See that? I'm a lucky boy. No argument there.
Between hell no and 1% chance, how likely does Celebrini play a single minute in the ECHL here in Wichita in his career?
That's not going to happen. He may end up in the AHL at some point. He's not going to be in the ECHL. I could see him ending up in the AHL for a little bit to get used to pro hockey, but yeah, outside of that, he won't go any further down.
There you go. Shannon's gorgeous too, though. Agreed.
I would.
Oh, see, there's more people saying that you're gorgeous.
My recommendation is always to get people's eyes checked if they feel that way at all on any level. Okay, so another trade. These are all just draft pick trades, aren't they? So the LA Kings are up. So yeah, John Marino and Mikhail Sergachev on that blue line. So Kolyachanik's not the number one anymore.
Do you know to Kings? Shannon's the most gorgeous man alive. Hey. I didn't write it.
Yeah, you did.
I'm not even typing.
Sure
I'm just using the mouse.
Uh-huh.
Hi, hockey guy.
Howdy.
Drew Doughty, Hall of Fame?
Oh, Drew Doughty's absolutely Hall of Fame bound. Carter George, a goaltender, goes to LA. So that's the third goalie in the second round.
Your thoughts on the Caps flipping?
Mallenstein.
Oh, there you go. For the 43rd pick, they used to draft Cole Hudson. Thoughts on his play style?
I haven't got into Hudson. I will say, though, I'm kind of surprised Mallenstein, the return was the second. At this point in time, I don't know if Mallenstein's going to be a regular in the NHL, but somebody clearly thinks he's going to be. I think that's a really good return for Washington. I'll go that far.
Do you think the Kraken will make a significant trade?
I don't think so. I don't think the Kraken need to. I think for Seattle, free agency is going to be the telling of the tale of how they might improve and bounce back next year.
What do you think of the new Anaheim and LA King looks?
The LA one is just basically the same one they had in the early 90s, late 80s. I was never a huge fan of it, but it was a huge seller. I get why they went back to it. I like the Anaheim look. It's a little bit too much orange. I will go that far and agree with that. However, I do like that color. I've always liked the orange Ducks jerseys. She hasn't, but
I'm not a fan of the orange. I was really hoping they would go back to the eggplant, but I understand why they super oranged it up.
I read her the press release too.
I do understand.
I read it to her in her
Kings sleep. The Kings. I was also disappointed.
So guess what I dreamt about last night?
Hockey.
I dreamt that the opening night of hockey, there was a conflict between the opening night of hockey and my job. I had a job outside of the house. So we agreed that I was going to have to quit my job outside the house because I was going to have to watch the games the next morning and call into work. And then I was going to do the review after. So I dream about my nightmares are that I miss hockey games. Those are my nightmares now, that I miss hockey games. And I'm like, oh crap, I missed hockey. But there was only one game on night 2. So I was like, all right, I can watch these 2 games, do a review of that, and then I can watch that game tonight, but I'm going to have to quit my job. And you're like, yeah, you're going to have to quit your job.
That would be accurate because I'm the one that told you had to quit your job during the playoffs. That's been quite a few years.
2018.
Yep.
6 years ago.
The eggplant color for the Ducks is gorgeous. I'm sad they didn't go with it. Agreed.
They'll use it on a third. They'll use it for
absolutely my opinion.
Special nights and whatnot. They'll still use it.
I really like the old Ducks with the eggplant. That's my favorite. After years of disappointment, do you think Ottawa can finally make the playoffs next season?
They can. Big question becomes whether or not they will. They were close last season. This season, they were not close. So, yeah, they need to get it together. I hope Ottawa finally gets in. That would be great if they did.
NHL needs more purple. Agreed.
Yeah, I won't argue with
I'm
that.
still really hoping that Utah will have purple, at least as like an accent color. I think it would look really nice. I really hope it's not just blue, black, and white.
It's gonna be blue, black.
There's already enough blue, black, and white, though I know it's a different shade of blue.
It's a beautiful shade of blue.
It is very nice, but there's already a lot of
Spezza blue, a Hall of Famer.
Borderline. Blue and white, blue and
borderline.
Blue and white, blue and white.
I don't know that Spezza gets in there. Yeah. If Spezza gets in and McGildy doesn't, something's wrong with the system. Yeah, 3 defensemen taken by St. Louis so far. So they're cranking up the depth on their blue line.
It's salt, not white.
Yeah, why did they get salt white and then it was different black too? And I'm like, but it's black.
Is it kind of like the Kings and they're not purple?
The Forum blue.
Yeah.
But it's weird when they're like
teams that it's not marigold. It's
let's see. We had a choice between salt white, polar bear white, and penguin stomach white. And we went with penguin stomach white because we felt that was more closer. We thought about cloud white too, but we thought that might be a little too exciting to our fan base. So we'd rather not have people excitable watching our jerseys fly around the ice. So we went with the correct shade of white.
It's like business cards. Here's the 20 different colors of white.
It's the same thing. How many shades of black? No, there's just black. It's a different shade. It's not black anymore.
What do you think about Tanner Jeannot to Kings?
The Tampa Bay Lightning had to. I mean, Jeannot was not a great experiment for Tampa Bay. That's the one deal that if Julien Brisebois ends up out of the job a couple of years from now, that's the one that everybody will look at and say that was his biggest error. I would think it's a lot of water bottles.
I am definitely not Shannon's daughter. No, I hope that's a joke.
She could be my sister, though.
I mean, our ages are close enough that okay, but no.
She could be my sister. Hi.
Okay, stop it.
I never saw you at the family reunion before. We're that close to
Torque. Okay.
You've changed.
Anyways, thoughts on Sabres acquiring Melanstein.
I'm surprised they gave up a second-round draft pick for Beck Melanstein. And I like Melanstein. I'm surprised that they gave up a second. So Toronto's making a deal. They're dealing away their draft, their pick.
See what you did to the chat, Shannon? Man. Whiteboard white. There you go. There's another shade of white.
Yeah. So it's just draft picks for draft picks in this one too. All right. See, there's a lot of trades, but they're all draft pick for draft pick kind of things. So Florida gets pick number 58 from Toronto. I mean, they stole Toronto's dreams from them. Might as well take a draft pick. Knocking them out of the playoffs last year.
Toronto's new coaching staff is their best chance to get in shape.
Berube's going to be a good change of pace for them. And I say that as somebody who likes Sheldon Keefe, but sometimes a team just needs a different voice behind the bench.
What about the Avs?
The Avs drafted the first goalie in this draft. So we'll see how that goes for them. Linus Eriksson going to the Florida Panthers at 58. He's 6 foot, 189 pounds. So he's very short compared to most of the draft class. It's 6 feet tall.
Tampa GM Brisebois making things interesting out of nowhere once again. Hope they make Gensel an offer now.
We'll see what happens with Gensel, because there were rumors yesterday that he might have been getting signed, and then that didn't happen. So we'll see. Gensel's going to end up being really pricey.
Somebody's asking if that Linus is son of Louis.
I doubt it. Eriksson is a very common name. That's like Jones for Canadians.
True. Yeah, that would be a very common name.
Yeah. Well, Eriksson's kind of a common English name too, although we spell it differently.
Steal for the Panthers.
Well, I mean, they traded for the pick, so he was a player they had their eye on, and they decided to pull the trigger now.
Do you still think Winnipeg moves McGroarty, or do you think he stays since the first round is over?
It doesn't necessarily mean McGroarty stays. Apparently, and I mean, the buzz with him is that he wants like kind of a guaranteed spot in the lineup, and that's not really how most teams work. Which has fueled the speculation that Winnipeg's going to move him. He could get moved at any point during this summer. So Nashville's on the clock, but Nashville's been sitting on this pick for a while. So generally today, that's been indicating a trade's on the way. Not necessarily there will be now, but
Kevin Hayes to Pittsburgh, according to Sportsnet.
That'd be an interesting move. And for Hayes, he started bouncing around the league a little bit. That'd be interesting too, because Philadelphia signed him, trade him away, and then that contract ends up in Pittsburgh. Be an interesting move. And it would show that Pittsburgh thinks they're going to try to get back in the playoffs next year. Shows that they're not in that rebuild or retool mindset.
There's a bunch of people that are wanting your opinion on Sergachev to Utah trade.
I'll do a full video on the Sergachev trade when this live stream's done. I understand why that move is made by both teams. I don't hate it for either team. I think Utah getting a named defenseman out there is important. That gives them something that they've needed. And for Tampa, they pick up some assets that I think are pretty decent assets as well. Definitely not one that I just look at and say, well, clearly the winner is. I can make an argument for either team, and I'll try to do that.
In your opinion, who's the best, lowest drafted player who's still playing?
Oh, geez. That's a tough one. Zuccarello wasn't drafted at all. That's one I want to say Zuccarello.
I thought you did a video on that at one point.
I've done videos on draft steals. I've definitely done videos on draft steals and things
players
of that
were really low.
Yeah, Jeannot to the LA Kings. I haven't seen what the return is for that, though.
Somebody says Connor Hellebuck, Panarin.
San Jose has put Knizhov on waivers to buy him out. Knizhov was a guy I really liked a while ago, but it just hasn't panned out for him. Second round pick in 2025 for Jeannot and 118th this year. Man, I hope Jeannot has a bounce back in LA, but he's had trouble scoring and had trouble staying healthy, so we'll see. But that's one that Brisebois is gonna wear that one.
The return for Jeannot was 2025 second and number 118 today.
And that's where the proof is she doesn't listen to me, because that's exactly what I just said.
But there's also a bunch of people. I'm just repeating what they're saying. But no, I don't listen to Shannon. I can't. No. I'm reading all the comments.
No.
I'm scanning through them. So no.
That's right.
It's true.
They've even got they've got file folders that have like the little secondary logo on them. I want those file folders. Why can't I have those file folders?
What?
They have little file folders that have like the Predators secondary logo on it. So I can have like a little file folder for each team. Like a little team logo on it. What? I wanted file folders for a long time. You just keep holding me back and telling me I'm not allowed to have file folders.
That has never been a conversation. Coof. Oh my gosh.
It's true though.
It's not. Is there any chance that the Bolts keep Stammer?
There's always the chance until you get to July the 1st and then he goes to market. I don't know that Sergachev being traded makes that any more likely, but there is that chance.
And trade in the whiteboards for file folders. Let the man have his file folders. So, see, this is what you do to the chat. You just totally... And there it goes.
Now I ruined the chat.
So let him have his file folders.
You saying I'm guilty? Is that what you're saying? That I'm guilty?
He really does have this right here.
I do. And I'm going to be using this.
And then he's got the referee whistle there as well.
I'm going to be using this next season. I just haven't decided when this needs to get used. But
you could do it when there's some kind of penalty called and then it's challenged. And so then that's whether it's...
But it's going to be silly if I do that without the judge's wig. I'm going to look silly with the gavel and not having a judge's wig.
We don't need a judge wig.
Okay, so Philadelphia moves on to the board with the 59th pick. So it was a swap of picks there.
All rise for the honorable judge, THG.
See?
What do you think Montreal's defense looks like to start next year?
The one thing with Montreal's defense, I think they need to add one more veteran to it. They've got a lot of good young kids on that team, but you don't want to have too many young defensemen out there. I think one more veteran blue liner is going to get added this summer.
Hang a THG calendar on the file cabinet as a compromise.
There you go.
Referee sweater and a judge wig.
And the referee's whistle.
So goofy.
I could have the whistle and the gavel at the same time, blowing the whistle and banging the gavel.
Think about the people that's their first video they see. What in the world is this? Who is this guy? What a joke.
It'd get memed everywhere. Every time the NHL does something stupid.
It'd have new little gifts to send you. I totally send Shannon gifts of himself. Because I think it's really funny.
So weird.
Some of the Shannon gifts are weird.
I've sent those to friends of mine too, where I'm like, I have gifts.
You're like, wait, what? Is that your husband? Sure is.
And sometimes I see them and I'm like, that doesn't seem complimentary. Somebody took some time on this. It doesn't feel complimentary.
What free agent do you think the Wild sign once their cap penalty ends at the end of next season? It's a little early to ask, but I'm curious. Love your videos. Thanks, Shannon and Yvonne. Keep up the work.
I mean, if Draisaitl doesn't sign an extension with Edmonton, he's going to be tackled by every team come free agency. Minnesota's going to be a player next summer when it comes to the free agent market. It is very early to speculate on next year's free agent market because there's going to be a lot of star names on that list that are going to get signed probably before the season even starts. But Minnesota, I would not be surprised if they're aggressive. Bill Guerin hasn't been shy about making deals.
Hi again. All thoughts on what Marino move means for New Jersey? Hearing Brendan Dillon on New Jersey radar in addition to Pesce.
Pesce, it sounds like going to the Devils is a really strong possibility. It is possible they end up adding multiple defensemen, and I'm not going to argue with that. That's probably the right move for them. Spencer Gill, 6'4", 186.
Shannon's absolutely the guy who starts a circle pit at a Slipknot show.
I don't think
that does not seem
like
a Shannon thing at all.
No. I'd be more likely to have the gavel and tell them to knock it off. Stop. That's it. I'll order. Order at my concert. Order.
Do you have any EPHC jerseys?
No.
Okay. Do the Canucks trade for Gensel rights?
I doubt it. I'd be very surprised if they did. But Carolina's sitting there for a while with pick number 60, and this pick's being traded as well. This is when this is what drags this to a halt, is when every pick's getting traded.
Mm-hmm.
This is the fourth pick in a row that's been traded, I think. And it's just picks for picks.
Thoughts on what Isles do the rest of the draft, like trades, picks, etc.?
The Islanders have been quiet. It's Lou Lamoriello. They're going to be quiet. That's just that's how they are. They're not a team that makes a lot of waves. So yeah, they're going to be quiet.
Oilers are seriously hooped. If Draisaitl leaves, the honeymoon phase will be over with their coach too next season. They play great for 6 to 8 months for a new coach and then start to fall.
I don't know. So let's say you lose Draisaitl next summer. Absolutely worst case scenario for Edmonton. Every indication he probably resigns as soon as this summer. But then you're not the one spending $13 million plus on Draisaitl, so you've got all that cap space. So you lose the player, but you have the cap space to bring other guys in. And it's not necessarily the end of the world when a big player leaves, like Tavares leaving the Islanders wasn't. Like Nashville losing a bunch of guys. They still made the playoffs. So if you have a good GM that knows what they're doing, you can survive that kind of thing.
Shannon is absolutely the dude at the back of the venue, just standing with his arm crossed the whole time while having the time of his life. No, that's definitely not.
Nope.
The guy that
Shannon not during a concert.
Nah, Shannon stands up and he sings along and yep.
Yeah, with Rammstein, I sing along. Yep. I even know when to put my arms up during Ishville. Yeah, he doesn't have to tell me. I know. All right, so Columbus drafts a goaltender at 60 and Evan Gardner.
Any other NHL games you plan on attending next season?
Well, we'll see when the schedule comes out. Once the schedule comes out, and it really is, for me to go to an NHL game, there has to be 4 or less NHL games on that night because I have to do the review when I get home, or as you can see, I have nightmares about it. So yeah, it has to be a quiet night in the National Hockey League.
Do the Canucks make a big move before Monday?
If they make a big move, it would be to keep the door off. But I don't. I mean, we know that's not happening.
Love your work, Shannon.
Thank you.
My wife jokes that you are the hockey prophet. What do you think the Wings need to get into the playoffs?
Not much. They didn't miss the playoffs by a lot. So if they lose Kane, then you go out and find a veteran that can help to lead your team. If they can find a way to bring Patrick Kane back, and apparently they were still talking as recently as yesterday, that could work. I really don't think Detroit's far off. The one issue I do look at with Detroit, starting goalie. Have an absolute clear image of or vision of your starting goaltender, who that's going to be. And yeah, that's the one thing I worry about with Detroit is goaltending.
Is Rogers Arena better than Pacific Coliseum in terms of game experience?
I think so.
Way better view.
I think it's a better building. And the Pacific Coliseum back in the day, it was called the Pacific Mausoleum because of how quiet it was. So yeah, Vancouver fans can tend to be kind of quiet at times. Doesn't matter what building they're in.
Definitely seats way more. You have a better view, and the concourse is a lot nicer at Rogers.
Yeah, we've been to Pacific Coliseum not that long ago, and it's not comparable.
Been a chaotic 48 hours for me as a Bolts fan. What do you think of Tampa right now? Take care from Tampa. Go Bolts.
I think Tampa Bay and trading Sergachev, I think this move could end up being a good one. Trading Jeannot, it had to be done. It absolutely had to be done. He was not going to. I don't think he was going to succeed there. I think a move was best for him and for the team.
Will Laine get traded to the Wild if they can work the money out?
That cap hit is difficult. That's an $8.7 million cap hit. Even at 50% retained, it's tough for the Wild to take that on.
I hope not.
He could play for both your teams.
I hope not.
You watched him in Winnipeg. He wasn't frustrating at all.
He super was. Oh my gosh.
Not frustrating.
Really frustrating player. Really frustrating.
There was one game where I think there was 3 goals against Winnipeg, and on each goal you can see him just meandering back to his own
he's
zone.
Just like so frustrating. So
did the puck go in?
All right. I hope not.
And I was like, man, that defensive effort is no. That's just
it's like if he's not having the game that he wants, he's just like, he's passing me the puck.
And then people were like, I don't know why Paul Maurice isn't playing anymore. Are you kidding? Yeah, trade him to Florida. give him back to Paul Maurice. Nathan Villeneuve goes to Seattle. Wow, he's 5'11". Huh.
Super short then.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
As a Canes fan, did our window close? As a Ducks fan, how long do you estimate until our next window opens?
Oh, no, I don't think the Canes window is closed at all. We'll see what happens with free agency, what they get for Natchez if they move him. The Ducks, that window is going to still be a while. It's still going to be a while for them.
Chances of the Sabres making the 2025 playoffs?
I'll go 50-50. I'll be an optimist and say 50-50. I hope they get in, but obviously with Detroit, Ottawa, and Buffalo, there's not that many spots that are going to be open, so there's going to be some upset fans.
Will Martin Necas be traded?
I think so. I think his time as a Carolina Hurricane, I think it's done. So Emil Vinny is another goaltender taken in the second round. The Oilers taking him 64th overall. So I think that's 4 goaltenders got taken in the second round. And now Utah's on the clock.
Why are there so many USHL players going in this draft, but very few, if no, BCHL players? I thought that they were the same level.
No. USHL is definitely a little bit higher. I would put USHL into the same... at this point, it's like CHL level. And BCHL is a step below CHL level. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised we haven't seen a lot from the BCHL at this point. It's more unusual when there is than when there isn't.
Why does Yvonne hate the Calgary Flames?
What's your problem? What's your deal? It's blasty, isn't it? You hate horses. That's what it is. You just like stupid horse. I know you're like, I can't watch this game. They got the horse face. Why is the horse face on? What?
Pardon?
All right. Play it cool, sunshine. Play it cool.
When will the Sharks make the playoffs?
It's going to be a while, but they're definitely building themselves up nicely in the offseason. They've been picking up a lot of players, and their drafting, I think, has been pretty good. So by adding Celebrini, by adding Smith, they're definitely going to win more games next season. But playoffs are still, I would say, probably, I'll say 2 more years outside the playoffs, and then they jump in.
Are you expecting a big trade from the Hawks?
I'd be very surprised if the Hawks make a big deal. I would watch for the Hawks on the first. I get the feeling that now they have Bedard. They picked the second or the number 2 draft pick this year too, and they get Levshinov. I think now they're going to start really building it up. I think they'll be aggressive in free agency, mildly aggressive.
What do you think of the Habs rebuild?
It's going well. Keep in mind that in a 32-team league where 16 teams miss the playoffs, building yourself back up to being a playoff team takes longer. And yeah, I think Montreal's doing all the right things. And they should be back above 500 next season. And maybe they're a playoff team the year after. The tricky part being there's a lot of teams in the East that look like they're getting better. Not all these rebuilds are going to work.
If we don't re-sign Stamkos out of all of this, ugh.
One thing to keep in mind is Tampa Bay's pretty smart with their money most of the time. And so if they don't bring back Stamkos, there's still players on the market they can pick up. It's not over yet. It's just when the dust settles, you look at what you got and see if it was worth losing Stamkos.
Thoughts on what Dallas bottom 4 defense could look like?
Oh, man. With Suter gone, does that give Lundqvist a spot in the lineup or not? Because I think Nils Lundqvist is the one to watch this summer. Because it felt like Pete DeBoer had no confidence in him at all. I'm going to sneeze. And it's more than one. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the one. Yeah, Dallas, I think they're going to pick up another defenseman because I think if they were going to sign Tanev, it probably already would have happened by now. So I don't think we know exactly what their defense is going to look like for next year. We know Heiskanen's going to be there. We know Lindell's going to be there. Harley is an excellent defenseman as well. I think they pick up another defenseman in free agency if they can't keep Tanev.
What pick are we at? I think we're just going on to
65.
round 3, aren't we?
Yeah, they're into 65. So Kiwi Haryu's dropped into the 3rd round now. I'm not entirely surprised, but he could end up being a steal when he does get taken.
When a team is facing relentless pressure in their own zone, why don't they just ice the puck more? Even if it comes back, they can always win faceoff.
I think there's there is that argument for icing the puck, but I think it comes down to coaching too, where I think they get told, okay, this is how to play it. And then players panic a lot of the time. So it's the only way I can explain some of the passes right into the middle of the ice in the slot to the other team is panic, where they try to make that perfect pass and it all falls apart. What you doing, Bun?
Who are some famous second-round picks?
Oh, there's a ton of famous second-round picks. I'm going to be doing videos this summer on the draft and on picks.
Right.
She was starting trouble, and I called her out on it. She was starting trouble.
Look at his face. He wouldn't start trouble.
She absolutely would start trouble.
Face.
Don't trust that face.
This is so cute. Look at his bun.
There's a lot of trades today because we're into a kind of a crazy period right now. This is going to be a very busy off season, and everybody's got cap space for the first time in 4 years.
Yeah, I got Bunny fur up my nose. I didn't even put her close to my face.
It doesn't matter.
Man, they're all
so much
shedding
because so much fur, Bun.
Just warming up. We've had a few warm days, so all the fur is just falling out.
You go, Bun. Now go play.
I think if we started to see a lot of consecutive icings as a strategy, the league would introduce a rule to give a delay of game for multiple icings.
I'm surprised they have never done that. Oh, Atos Koivu. Gotta be related to Saku, right? Is that Saku's kid? I'm thinking probably so.
Somebody says Koivu is Canadian.
Oh, is he? Well, I mean, that could still be Saku's kid then, because Koivu played Montreal.
Oh, somebody says son, somebody says nephew.
And they're showing him out there skating around wearing a Finnish jersey. So
yeah, somebody else says, a bunch of people are saying
born in
kid.
Turku, Finland.
There you go.
Dad Saku played 1,124 games with Montreal and Anaheim. Unbelievable shot, utilizing one-timer whenever he gets opportunity, fine skater and puck handler.
When do you think the Flyers can contend again?
I'll say 2 years. I don't think... Yeah, I mean, in the NHL right now, there's so much parity. The Flyers almost reached the playoffs with a team they had no right to be anywhere near the playoffs with this past season. I think in 2 years, they can get back into contention.
Yes, they're on round 3 of the draft.
Yep, we're up to pick number 71 now. So Kiwi Haryu's really dropped. I don't even know if he's going to get drafted today at this point. He's falling so far.
I've seen a lot of people mentioning that these kids would be lockout babies. So they would be born the year of the lockout.
Yep.
Or conceived during the year of the lockout.
Thoughts on Flyers, Jet Luchenko in their draft? I think the Flyers have done all right so far.
What's going on here?
Luchenko had a really good draft combine. He improved his draft stock a lot. He's seen as a good player. He was supposed to be in the first round as well. He moved up. He really did. He moved into the lower first round as the season went along. And so I'm kind of surprised Philly took him where they did, but it's a player they liked, so they grabbed him.
If you were the Leafs GM, what would you want to do with Marner?
Well, the first thing I do with Marner is sit down with him and his agent and try to ballpark what he wants on his next contract. If it's reasonable, I'd think about it. If it's something insane, then probably not so much. So we'll see what he wants. And then I would try to facilitate a trade if I felt like I wasn't going to be able to hold on to him.
Why has Pat Verbeek not been selected for the Hall of Fame?
Verbeek was very good. And the Hall of Fame is for greatness. And I feel like he's like a Hall of very good. John Mustard was drafted by Chicago. Can I get a... Oh my gosh, why wasn't he drafted by Nashville?
I knew you were going to say that.
I could have had a Mustard jersey with mustard on the back.
There's a bacon bun at your feet. Look at her dancing
I know.
around.
She dances on her hind feet.
She's on her tippy toes, hopping around Shannon's feet because she wants treats.
Now. I don't have anything right now. What do you want, baby?
Bacon bunny.
What do you want, baby? I don't have anything right now.
She wants treats. Okay, Mom. How about you? Do you have treats? You have treats, Mom? I see.
See, the problem is half the time I give her bunny treats, she doesn't eat them. She's not actually hungry.
Pretty sure she needs some treats. She's starving.
Oh, I know. Her and her brother both act
bowl
like
of food
starving.
and a whole pile of hay.
Yeah, grass.
So much. Nope, she's starving though. Thoughts on Logan Thompson to Washington trade and Kevin Hayes and a 2025 second to Pittsburgh for future considerations?
They traded Logan Thompson? I didn't see that. That would actually kind of surprise me. Yeah, Vegas trades Logan Thompson. Wow. Why? So my thought on that is why? Because then you got Aiden Hill. They have to have something else coming. They absolutely have to have something else coming. I have a lot of videos to do when we're done this live stream.
You're going to be busy.
I have a lot of videos.
We're not going to stream all through the 7 rounds, right?
No.
Will we do once they cut off and start doing the other things? Because I remember in previous years, they don't stay on the draft.
No.
All 7 rounds.
No.
Because
that's insane. That's a lot of...
We have to leave it like 3.
Yeah.
For playing hockey.
And it'd be nice if I had time for a little bit of rest before that.
Thank you for streaming. Let's
go
wild.
So Kevin Hayes goes to Pittsburgh with the second rounder. So I don't get anything back. All right. But there's all the trades. People complain there weren't trades yesterday.
Too.
And now you get trades today. So you're welcome. And now Buffalo's been sitting on this draft pick for a while, so they're trading too. Oh, nope. They're taking their pick.
On draft picks, do you feel scouting has gotten better in the last 10 to 15 years? Seems like we don't see players like Henrik Zetterberg going in the 7th round anymore.
No, there's two things that have changed, or actually I'll say three. One, the information is much more widely known of the lower down leagues because of just how organized all of the scouting is. You have the combination of more scouts, better technology. You have the combine, and yeah, there really aren't the dark corners anymore for players to hide in. The most recent example of that would be Wyatt Johnston being drafted by Dallas when a lot of teams didn't really see him. Dallas saw him where other teams didn't. But that is becoming less and less common for that to take place.
Logan Thompson has a signing for Vegas in 20 minutes.
Oh, that might be awkward. So he may not show up to that autograph signing. I would send Aiden Hill. Be like, Hill, what are you doing? Can you go to the signing? Because Thompson's going to sign everything stupid Vegas. So, Logan Thompson signed his picture stupid Vegas. He signed mine. I hope they miss the playoffs.
Most of our magnets we make.
Yep.
Very few of them we actually buy as magnets.
Yep. I'm looking at the board. I made all of those. Yeah, those are all made magnets. Alexi Bernier goes to Seattle. So there's another defenseman. Anthony Spellacy. He got his own name on the back of his jersey. How did he get that? Maybe he brought it. I have a nameplate. I can put my nameplate on.
Somebody was really quickly heat pressing that on. Oh, remember last year where there was the ones that their nameplates were already falling off because they.
I think that's why now a lot of teams, they just put the team name on the back.
Yeah.
That way they just have the generic jersey. So Henry Muse goes 74th overall to Calgary. Another defenseman, 6 feet tall.
Maybe it's a bit of a reach, but I love that the Habs got Saku's son.
And if you're going to do that in the 3rd round, there's not a lot of risk to it. And Montreal has so many draft picks. It's a good call. It's a good move.
What do you think if the Sergachev trade to Utah?
I like it for both teams. It shows Utah fans that they're serious about getting into the playoffs. Tampa Bay gets good value for Sergachev, I think. I like Mosier. Put it that way. I like Mosier a lot. And Connor Geekie is the top prospect. So Tampa Bay did a good job of adding a pretty good prospect from Utah, and Utah gets a star defenseman back in return.
Is there anybody that's falling in the draft?
The only name that I've got on the board that hasn't been drafted yet is Aaron Kivi-Harju. Now, Kivi-Harju did suffer an injury during the season, and so him dropping isn't necessarily a surprise. Outside of that, this draft, it feels like, has been pretty much right where the scouts thought it would go. For around 5 picks upper, like higher or lower, maybe guys get picked, but there hasn't been a lot of going off the board in this draft.
Oh, somebody asked when the next Habs pick is. It's at 78. Right now they're on 75. So
yep.
In 4 teams. Can the Oilers move Jack Campbell instead of it becoming a buyout?
You have to find a taker. And I don't know that there are any. And buying him out isn't easy either because he's still got, 3 years left on that deal. So that's a 3-year cap penalty plus the 3 years tacked on at the end. That's 6 years. You're going to be paying that out. I don't know that it's worth that.
In the 1st round was Caps pick. What do you think about their decision?
The Caps pick, he was ranked 25th by Bob McKenzie. So he was 8 picks ahead of where McKenzie had him. Elite Prospects had him at 36th. that tells me that the Washington scouts had information on him that they liked him, whereas other teams didn't. And again, it's hard to pick winners and losers on draft day. I don't like to do that. So either they're going to have a player that is surprisingly good, or we're going to look back and go, they really missed out by the guys they didn't pick on or pick up instead.
Yes, it's 9:45 here.
Yep. Another trade.
Can Oilers buy out Nurse?
Yeah, I think Nurse's contract has a lot of bonus money in it. And when there's a lot of bonus money, you just don't save enough.
Why are the Kraken only drafting centers?
They just drafted a defenseman. Alexis Bernier is a defenseman. So you draft best player available with where they've been drafting.
Any news on Capitals' 50th anniversary jersey?
I haven't seen anything. I know they did a big 50th anniversary video. I would expect them to do some sort of throwback to their original jerseys. But yeah, that's about it.
Utah is making some good moves.
Yeah, I like what Utah's doing. I do. And this is why I've been saying they have a chance to potentially jump into the playoff picture. Washington taking Ilya Protas. I believe that's Alexei's brother. So that's nice. That's a good story.
Shannon will be doing a bunch of videos after this talking about trades and such.
Yep, this is a busy day. This is a busy day, and then Monday's going to be a busy day as well.
Props to the NHL website for actually posting the picks promptly.
That's been a problem in the past.
There have been several goalies drafted so far. Haven't there been 3?
4.
4 now.
They had 4 in the second round. I haven't seen any in the third yet, I don't think.
Yes, Shannon has talked about the Sergachev trade quite a few times. He will do a video afterwards as
there
well.
will be videos posted to the channel once the live stream is done. And I'll start with the Sergachev trade. Absolutely.
Caps took Protas' brother.
Yeah, he was there hugging him as, they're all excited. So, yeah, both Protas is now property of the Washington Capitals.
Why is Kiwiharu dropping this much?
Injury concerns and concerns about his career going forward.
Thoughts on Ken Holland dropping out prior to the draft?
That was always the expectation. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of odd how they did the release that they weren't renewing his contract. I think it'll be fine. Jeff Jackson will run the show until they find a permanent replacement for Holland. But it feels like this was part of the plan the whole way through.
What are your thoughts, Montreal getting Demidov?
That was a really easy pick for them. The fact that he wasn't taken before that, it's pretty easy to go up to the microphone and be like, all right, so we're going to take this guy because I don't know why they didn't take him. But yeah, that could end up being a great move.
Great day for the Hawks so far.
It's been a pretty interesting hockey day thus far.
Do the Panthers have any picks in this draft?
The Panthers had a draft pick a bit ago. They traded for it. If there's a player they want, they're gonna be pretty aggressive, I would think, in trading up and getting that player they want. Viggo Gustafsson drafted by Nashville. And then Logan Sawyer, center, goes to Montreal.
There have been 4 goalies drafted in the second round.
Yep.
Any news on Boston?
Nope. Boston's quiet, which I'm fine with. That doesn't bother me at all. If they're quiet on the first, that'll bother me. But yeah.
How many teams will make a long shot bid for Draisaitl?
In the event that he gets to free agency next year, most teams would at least look at it. But I think the Oilers will find a way to lock him down.
I'm over the Iser plan.
All he had to do was draft Iserman. That's it. He didn't do it. And then talk Pittsburgh into not taking Howe.
Where does Sean Walker land?
Walker, because he's a free agent, right? Walker is going to be an interesting one. He's a top 4 defenseman who I think can be very effective. I would welcome him on any team I root for. I'll put it that way. I've been a Sean Walker fan for a long time.
Will Blue Jackets make the postseason soon?
I hope so. That's why they made the change with the general manager, and then new coach comes in as well. Don Waddell has a really good track record, so that lends itself to the idea that Columbus has to get better next season.
How long do we have to wait for a goalie to go first overall again? It's been 21 years already.
I don't think that's going to happen again. I think with the way that scouting is now and with the unpredictability of goaltenders, I don't think we'll see a goaltender go first overall again.
How much does Montour get in free agency?
Montour's going to get, I would say, minimum. It's got to be what, six? I'll say 6. The cap hits are going to go up this summer. I'll say minimum of 6. Even though he didn't have a fantastic year this year, comparatively speaking with last year, I still think he's going to command about 6. If your bottles fall, what are they doing? Is he just bored at his desk with that? He's got the bottles all on the side.
He's bored.
He's got the pens lined up.
Just sitting there. It's a long time just sitting there. That would be really boring.
What's going on at the Detroit table?
I'm just bored.
They making up office games now?
I'd be bored there too. I would. I would.
Andre Kost taken by St. Louis, left winger at 81st.
If NHL wants to release mascot themed jerseys, what one would you most likely purchase?
Gritty.
Right? That's the right answer.
But it's going to look silly if you don't have like fur on the shoulders.
You got to the eyes have to like
mascot fur. And then like for the one that's for the ones that are like, the shark and the orca, you just have like the fin on the back. You could have a dorsal fin back here. So you wouldn't have fur, you'd have a dorsal fin. Or a blowhole on the top of the helmet.
Yeah, blowhole.
And then when they score, just poof, there'd be like you could have like a sparkler or something like, you have like a little button here for when you score. Just psh. They really hope they can make their blowholes go off tonight. Just imagine that. That'd be great. That's a great idea. I like that. And the Devils would just come out like on fire. So for their pregame, they just come out on fire. You just put lighter fluid on the jerseys. And then as they come through, there'd be like, a couple of like, I don't know, Vegas showgirls, like just hosing them down. The same ones that were there yesterday stealing everybody's jackets could be there just, putting out all the fire. Because Devils. So what else are you going to do? I guess you could put horns on them. Those little devil horns. The little ones with the flashing LEDs in them. They could have those in their helmets. That's a really good idea. I think we should just have like a mascot theme night.
No. If you were
and the Rangers.
If you were to add, change, or remove one NHL rule, what would it be?
I would get rid of the instigator. I don't think the instigator at this stage is necessary. I think the instigator can go. I think you can just call it unsportsmanlike conduct, and I think the instigator can go.
Tampa's making some bad moves right now.
I will be talking about Tampa Bay. I don't think trading Sergachev is a disastrous move. I think it's the first of what should be numerous moves from Tampa Bay this summer. But I'll definitely be doing a video on that.
See, you're giving people idea. Can you imagine all the gritty fur that would be in the washing machine? Right.
See, and then for Detroit, they could just have like octopus arms on their like from the neck. You'd have 4 in the front, 4 in the back, and then like you'd have octopus eyes on the helmet. You'd have like a head. It'd be great. I think it could work. And just think of all the free press they'd get for that.
There would definitely
and all the new fans you'd be winning over.
That.
Plus, how funny would it look if guys were fighting and one of them has octopus arms on, and the other one has a blowhole on the top that every time somebody lands a punch, there's just some water comes out of the top of the helmet.
New Winter Classic idea incoming. Oh my goodness. Well, they do usually have ugly jerseys. So
not for the Winter Classic. You're thinking of the stadium.
That's
games.
True. The stadium games.
Stadium jerseys can be ugly. Winter Classics are usually pretty nice.
That's true.
Wow, they're just sitting
Vegas
on this
jerseys would be full body cast.
Oh, well, the sticks would have to be like metal.
Octopus jerseys would be way cooler than Kraken jerseys.
How would you do the Kraken?
And all the nightmares they would cause for children.
How would you do the Kraken? Huh. I have to think that one over. Kraken would be tricky. Yeah, that would be tricky. And then for the Leafs, because since Carlton's their mascot, they'd have like the bear face and bear fur on their shoulders.
Now you've got me worried about the Jacket Stadium jersey.
It's gonna be ugly. Their stadium jerseys are almost always ugly. It's just how it works.
It's been quite a few years that they come out and you're just like, oh, that's what they went. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
That Islanders one. That's.
Man, there's been some really ugly ones.
Yeah. Avalanche, the Kings.
Yeah, the Kings one. It was weird.
Just LA.
Thoughts on Winnipeg's second round selection?
You mean Alphonse Frisch? He was seen as one of the better remaining prospects. He was seen as a potential first-round draft pick. So, getting him at 37th could end up being a very good deal for them.
What happens if a team takes too long to make the pick?
Nothing.
Apparently, they don't care.
They really don't care.
Yesterday, I think the clock was just for show.
Yep. They really don't care.
Just to make it look fun.
It's just kind of there as like a guide. I would imagine their chairs just start vibrating when the clock runs out.
Vegas needs helmets like the Vegas Dome, all lit up with video on them. The Sphere, they could have Sphere helmets. Probably be better than those silver ones. Those are silly. Or they have the gold ones, not silver. They look silly. There's been lots of trades. Shannon will do videos, lots of videos after this.
Yeah.
So many trades.
Because there's definitely, and there's going to be more. There's going to be more deals. I have no doubt in my mind there's going to be more deals.
The clock is a lie.
Absolutely. Yesterday's draft that's too slow. 4 hours for 32 picks is insane. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like when I saw the clock was 3 minutes, I thought, okay, if there's 3 minutes for each pick, that's like an hour and a half. That's workable. That makes sense. 4 hours. So yeah, the 3 minutes is a lie.
Do the Canucks have any picks this draft?
I don't think they pick until the fourth round. I want to say the fourth round for the Canucks. I think that's the earliest they pick. What do you think?
I wasn't listening to you talking, so I have no idea what you just asked.
Okay. Because back in 1812.
Oh, 93rd pick. End of the third round for Canucks.
There you go. Almost fourth round. Almost. Maybe they'll take Kiwi Haru.
Yeah, a bunch of people are asking about him again.
Yeah, he suffered I think it was a leg injury. And so, yeah. Apparently it was pretty bad, and that's why
that would
dropped.
Be so disappointing. I can't imagine. That would just be heartbreaking.
Yep.
That would be upsetting for their family too, because they've put so much money into his hockey playing and everything, and then to have an injury like that. What's the most niche thing you've made a magnet for? Oh, Shannon has some ridiculous ones.
Niche. I mean, I have a red phone magnet. I have the bromance one from Friends. I don't get to use that one very much. Watching the drama unfold. This one I'm looking forward to using at some point. I think this is more. Do you want to use this with the kids? Do you need this upstairs? And you can just tap the magnet. It would make things so much easier. I have a Santa Claus magnet. I haven't been able to use that one yet. How about a Lion King looking disgusted magnet? So I have Mike Wazowski. There's another one, Mike Wazowski, the shocked face from Mike.
Llama for the win.
The shocked llama
People
is
really
my favorite.
like that
The shocked llama is my favorite. It's still on the board next to Seneca.
How long will this stream be?
Not much longer. We're getting into the 4th round now. They skipped over a bunch of picks. So this is where it's getting to that point where they skip over a bunch of draft picks.
Right.
And I
where
couldn't
it
keep
gets
up.
Tricky.
So both Calgary and Vegas picked goaltenders at 83 and 84. Moisevich drafted by Vegas and Zarubin drafted by Calgary. Miguel Marquez drafted by Nashville.
Are you happy with the signings of Vancouver has done so far this offseason?
Yep. I know people aren't happy with the Myers deal, feeling it's a little bit rich, but when people are like, well, that's about $500,000 too much. Oh, okay. That's not even a player's worth of money. So I'm okay with that. I think the Dakota Joshua signing was really good. And I think Zadorov's going to get overpaid. I really do. I think Zadorov's going to get a ridiculous contract, and I think he's going to get overpaid.
What would you have called the Utah Hockey Club given the choice? I like Utah Yeti. I think that sounds fun.
Of the remaining names, I like Mammoth. I've been a fan of Mammoth the whole way through since they revealed 20 names. I've been like, Mammoth's the one I like.
The llama is not Fortnite. It does look similar, but it's because
it's from a set of llama stickers that I have. So
apparently the Thompson autograph signing is still happening. He just arrived per Twitter.
Yeah. You'll be signing all of them. Stupid Vegas.
With chemistry being impossible to predict, is there a potential playmaker out there to replace Zuccarello on Kaprizov's line in the future?
I would think they'll look from within. With Minnesota's cap problems, I would think they'll look from within. Look for one of the young guys to come in and play with them. They do have some good young players there. We'll see how it works. But there are definitely some free agents they might look at, knowing they don't have a lot of space. But maybe you look for somebody in the $2 to $3 million range that might be a good bargain pickup. So another player picked up by Utah, Thomas Lavoie. I'm guessing Lavoie. Is he from Quebec or from? Because it's Lavoie if he's not from Quebec. If he's from Quebec, it becomes Lavoie. So now there's some random guy taking jackets too. Or okay, he's handing him the jersey too. Yeah, this is just all PR people. You get showgirls if you're in the first round. If you're not in the first round, you get random PR people. Sorry. Just that's the way it works.
Girls have the day off. They're busy. It's Saturday.
They're probably at Senior Frogs.
Could be. They're busy.
For the brunch.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's in his box now.
Another person's asking about Kiwi Haru.
Yeah, injury concerns are why Kiwi Haru's dropped. I had figured he'd probably go in the 3rd round, but now we're up to the number 91 pick. And yeah, he's just dropping. Herman Traff, drafted by New Jersey. I didn't know that anybody under my age was named Herman. That's a first. I did not know anybody was named Herman that was under my age.
Yeah. Must be named after like a grandfather or something.
Yep.
If Stamkos does sign elsewhere, who would get the captaincy?
I would think Hedman. Kind of have to be Hedman, wouldn't it? Yeah, he's been there forever. He's a leader. I would think Hedman gets the captaincy.
Morning from Kelowna.
Hello to Kelowna.
It's almost a Canucks pick.
Close. Canucks pick 93rd. Watch them trade it. Watch them trade that pick for the rights to Pesce. I'm just kidding.
Utah Yeti or Mammoth is probably what they're going to end up.
Yep.
What they're going to end up going with. I totally killed that. I think both of them would be fun, but I think Utah Yeti sounds cooler. Oh, morning from Surrey, morning from Nanaimo.
So just hello, BC.
Bias. Hello to all of
Hello,
our neighbors. It's really nice weather out today, isn't
I
it?
assume they're all fellow Farming for Love viewers too, because they're all BC people.
So ridiculous.
Farming for Love.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous.
It's the let's
All
send a
those
bunch
shows.
of people to farms and have everybody kiss everybody.
Ridiculous.
Got it. I mean, I get it. You know, I don't have a farm. I understand though.
More Vancouver. Hello from Manitoba. Hello from Sweden. This has got to be a way better time than yesterday for all the
for
Europeans.
Europe, yeah. Hi, Europe. Glad you're still awake. And hopefully you guys will be awake on Monday when we get into free agent frenzy, because that's going to be crazy. So now they've gone to commercial, so they're going to be a commercial when the Canucks make their pick. So you're welcome, Vancouver. You guys got up, and now they're going to skip the Canucks draft pick. Yeah, all those trades took place, and now it's just kind of stopped again. Interesting. Elliot Friedman, though, is getting kind of lazy. He's just putting, they traded this one for picks and traded that one for picks.
Kiwi Haru still has not gone.
No.
Hello from downtown San Jose.
Hello to downtown San Jose, an area we'd like to get to at some point.
Hello from Wichita, Kansas. Hello from Vegas.
Hello to Vegas. And we'll be back in Vegas at some point. We got to figure out something to go to Vegas at some point.
Hello from the Netherlands, eating dinner while watching.
When did we want to go to Vegas?
Christmas.
Okay.
That'd be super fun.
That would be fun.
Hello from Coquitlam. We'll be there later.
We will be in Coquitlam later.
Yeah. Winnipeg, Montreal. 2 people from Montreal in a row. Another Montreal. Oh my goodness. All the Montreal people coming out. Atlanta, Ohio.
See, we're all over the world.
Isn't it neat how there's just people from everywhere?
One of my favorite things when the channel started to grow was seeing all the countries that people were watching my content from. It was great.
It really is.
It was so
cool.
fun to see that as
somebody else in Abbotsford. Hello, neighbor. Stockholm, Niagara, New Jersey, more Montreal, Rhode Island, St. John's.
St. John's.
Not sure if that's Moscow or Moscow. So it would depend on what country that is.
Just say Moscow,
Chicago.
Vegas is
Michigan,
awesome at Christmas.
Alberta.
We know we went there for Christmas one year. It was great.
It was fantastic.
But I'll have to see what the NHL schedule looks like. And then we'd have to figure out what's going on with the kids and
Seattle,
what timing works.
France, North Carolina, Long Island. Have you ever been to the UK? I've been to France.
I have not been to the UK.
And Monaco.
Oh, Canucks are now on the clock. And they drafted Melvin Fernstrom. I was hoping they'd draft Melvin Fernstrom. I have no idea who Melvin Fernstrom is. But now he is a Canuck.
Oh,
good luck to Melvin
Moscow.
Fernstrom.
There you go.
So there's kids named Melvin?
That's
I'm surprised at some of these names that I wouldn't.
Is he from Europe or?
Probably. And I don't say that as an insult at all. It's just when you think of the names that are the names that are older names. Like, for instance, she's Yvonne. She's the only person under the age of 80 named Yvonne.
That's true. That's true.
So
here, it's an old lady name. And never bothered me, though. I liked not having a uncommon name. But a lot of people can't pronounce my name.
Hiroki Gosich?
So right now we're on pick 95.
Hiroki is his first name? And Gosich? That's awesome. So
some of these names are so good.
Yeah, Fernström's from Sweden.
Do you think Oilers are going to keep Draisaitl if they decide to trade? Who do you think they could get?
The Oilers are in a good position because they did make the Stanley Cup final, and as a result of that, it makes it a little bit easier to acquire free agents. I do think Draisaitl stays. I'd be very surprised if he decides not to. I think they'll get it done before the season started. They're looking for top 6 wingers. Ideally, I think they need at least one. If they can find, like, if they decide to move Kane's contract, they can make that work. Then you'd probably be looking for 2 top 6 wingers. But yeah, we'll see how it turns out.
Melvin is Swedish. That works out perfectly then, doesn't it? My wife's middle name is Yvonne. I have met so many people whose middle name is Yvonne. And
From
usually they're named after like their grandmother, great grandmother, great aunt, something like that. I've met many people with the middle name Yvonne.
Goisich is from Langley. Oh, good for him. I hope he does really well. I wouldn't have thought with Hiroki Goisich that he would have been BC born, but hey, that's awesome.
We have people from everywhere here, though.
That's awesome. I now have a player I'm going to be rooting for Nashville right there.
Yvonne is a Swedish name. Is it Swedish too? It's French. So my version of my name is French. It's not as uncommon in the French side of Canada.
Did you want to move to Quebec so you feel more at home?
I don't, actually. My mother's name is Yvonne. She was born in 1946. There you go. Yeah, Yvonne is fairly common in Ireland. Yeah, there's definitely places it's way more common. Just not here. It's fine with me. Just I never have my name on things. Ever.
I think I feel ever. I'm a male Shannon.
Whatever, there's Shannon stuff everywhere. It's just usually sparkly and pink and fun. Melvin is a popular name in Central America. There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of Utah jerseys being handed out this weekend. Oh, their hats are so sad. I didn't see their hat before. Oh, man. It's just an NHL logo on it. Utah.
Well, all of the draft hats are kind of sad this year.
So. No, but they just get the NHL logo. Might as well just say placeholder.
Shannon is a very common man's name in the U.S. South. There's quite a few places that Shannon.
I know. I was excited as an NFL football fan that there were a number. I remember when Shannon Sharp first came up and he was like, I don't know, 6'5" or whatever and huge. I thought, I wonder if he got bullied for having a girl's name in high school. I'm thinking probably not. Probably got a lot of, well, would you like this door open for you, Mr. Sharp? The interesting thing is Shannon Sharp's older brother's name, Sterling. And that was the name my mother was going to give me, and my dad had to talk her out of it. So I was almost Sterling, and then I got Shannon. I cannot imagine how much more I would have got bullied if my name had been Sterling. Well, hello, Sterling. Name Sterling. You can't live in a trailer park.
My aunt's named Yvonne. She's under 80, barely. That's kind of how it works.
So Florida drafted at 97th, the drafted defenseman, and Utah's right back on the clock. A lot of draft picks for Utah because Arizona had a ton of them. I'm going to need to get that Utah magnet out again. I need something fun for a Utah magnet.
My friend's name is Sterling, but he's always gone by his middle name. I can understand
I
that.
probably would have gone by my middle name too in that situation. Because there's a lot of wedgies for being named Sterling.
There are so many resemblances between Shannon Sharp and Shannon THG. They do look very similar.
Yeah.
Could be mistaken for brothers.
Yeah. I was just glad when Shannon Sharp came around. And then there was a quarterback. There was actually a hockey player at one point named Shannon Baker, and I think there was a quarterback named Shannon Baker. I know there's been a professional hockey player with the name Shannon that I was really rooting for to make it to the NHL, and he didn't. And it was sad. I'll have to look that up.
Since Utah is a new team, does that mean that nobody would have them on their no trade list?
No, I think the Arizona no trade gets switched over to Utah.
But those are two totally different places.
But it's the same franchise.
Oh, but that'd be different.
You'd have to modify that no trade list. You can't just have them say, "All right, well, that team's not in your no trade," but it was
right.
Because then teams could just change their names every year, so they wouldn't be on the no trade list.
My grandma's name was Claudine. That's a nice name.
So to be like, I said the Sabres were on my no trade list. Yeah, but this is the Buffalo Mabers. So Mabers isn't on your trade list. So there you go. Okay, Mabers is on my no trade list. Yeah, they just changed their name to Cabers. So you're going to the Buffalo Cabers. You just change their name every year. Talking dog commercials should be banned. We need to ban talking dog commercials.
What are you talking about?
Anything with talking animals should probably be banned in advertising because it's stupid.
I mean, there's so many stupid commercials. I don't know that I'd put talking animals at the top of.
It just aggravates me. The credit score one, you guys in Canada know the credit score one with the talking dogs. They're not funny, and they're just stop it.
See, I would take out commercials with really annoying music before I took out talking animals.
But then where else are you going to hear "Steal My Sunshine"?
There's oh my gosh, yeah.
It's her favorite song.
It's not. Yeah. What did talking animals do to you?
Those commercials just no.
Oh, I know. Isn't it cute? Shannon got this for me because I like Dumbo so much. Didn't one of my mugs break?
I got that for you when it broke.
For me when one of my other mugs broke.
Yeah.
I think it was my old purple jug.
And then we went to a movie a few weeks ago and she left her cup at the theater.
Disappeared.
So I ordered 3 more.
It's the weirdest thing.
So she loses something and I buy
He bought
more.
Me really fun cups.
She's had times. There was the one time where the kids ruined your umbrella
while
you were out. And I had ordered you
frustrating.
I ordered you a brand new umbrella before you got home.
Malachi borrowed my Jack umbrella and I told him, be careful with it because I got it from Disneyland. I think he used it for 5 minutes and he broke it. Yep. What in the world? Seriously. Yep. Children do not recommend.
Alexander Blay. Is he related to Sammy?
Pray she doesn't lose the vehicle. I have never lost a vehicle. I've never crashed a vehicle. I'm good with vehicles. Well, no, I did lose a vehicle once, but it wasn't my fault. Somebody stole it, but then they found it, so then I had it back. There you go. Oh, somebody loves you, Shannon.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Greatly appreciated. And I love you guys too, because without you guys watching the videos, there's not much point in me doing the videos if nobody's watching them. So thank you.
My fish talks to me all the time. I just can't hear it, even though the lips are moving. Maybe if you put your head in the water, it'd be easier to hear the fish. But
don't put your head in the water.
Fish water.
Fish don't want you in their water.
That's true. THG and SPD crossover coming in 2024.
He means the Steve Dangle Podcast Network.
I know what that means.
Well, SPD would be the wrong letters too.
I read what they wrote, but I know what it meant.
I mean, I was on Steve's live stream about a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like a week and a half.
I would have no problem with going on there. He's got my cell number. I've got his cell number.
They do now have each other's phone numbers.
I did text him that night after.
Both of them don't like to message on their phone.
I gifted 10 subscriptions on their channel. So, yeah, I would have no problem with doing that. Tanner Hendricks. 6'3" defenseman. They're all 6'3", 6'4", 6'5".
Can you guys be my parents? Mine hate each other. Oh, that's sad. No, we have more kids than I want, though.
We're good on kids for now. I think we'll start adopting in a few years.
No, we will not.
I think
veto.
At some point, we're going to get tired of the animals and just get a bunch of kids.
That's not a thing.
I think it'll be fine.
Pass on that.
We have lots of room for kids.
No, we don't.
Kids don't take up very much space.
They're very tiny. My gosh, they so do.
They're very small.
And they spread all their crap everywhere. When we were in the motel,
you're thinking of the guinea pigs.
I took our 3 kiddos at home on a little mini trip, and we stayed in a motel. And I was pointing out to them how much they were just spreading out their stuff. And just, so what was your plan here? Were you going to pick up your garbage, or is just, well, Mom will pick it up for me?
It's magic. I've told you this.
The kids are of the same opinion.
Yeah, it's magic. You just drop things at the floor and then it's just gone.
It'll be taken care of.
Yeah. It works.
They're just kids.
McMahon Stadium, Stampeders, Blue Bombers. Yeah. Well, go football. I don't have an opinion one way or the other with CFL. So you're in McMahon Stadium though. I'm going to assume you're cheering for the Stamps. So
table clears itself. It works every time.
Yep.
Shannon talks about the magic floors.
Our bed makes itself.
Magic tables, and
I can go in there and mess up the bed. I go in a while later, and it's all cleaned up.
So weird. The laundry all magically washes and folds and puts.
There's some lady grumbling about it, but it usually gets fixed, and it's fine. Works really well. I have no complaints. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And that's my judgment on the matter. What?
Goof.
You're looking at me like I got 6 heads.
Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said. He knows.
Oh, Calgary's got back-to-back
Nobody
picks.
tells you the truth.
But they've been sitting on this one, so are they actually going to take the pick or not take the pick?
We like to be those obnoxious parents that embarrass our kids. It's really fun. And then when they have friends over, the friends are always surprised at how we are with each other and how we goof with each other and are actually being with each other. Yeah. We have one bonus kiddo that comes over quite frequently, and she mentioned something that she never sees her parents kiss. And we're like, what? And so we have to do the kissing like we do around our children, that
over the top.
Yeah, over the top. You make all the sounds and have to wrap your legs around and stuff. It's so funny.
Or I bring my foot up.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah. We are very much the embarrass our children kind of parents. It's fun.
Got here late, so I missed your reaction to Habs drafting Koivu. Does this concern them to win the cup next year? Probably not winning a cup next year. I think the drafting of Koivu is a smart move by Montreal. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Saku Koivu was such a popular Montreal Canadian. Shame about how many injuries he went through. That may end up being a pretty good pick. Favorite name of a player drafted this year? Hiroki Goisic. Got to be the one. That's got to be it so far. That's fantastic. I hope he scores a bunch of points and makes the NHL as soon as possible.
Curious why Edmonton drafted another goalie. We must not be re-signing Fanti, but that still leaves 3 young goalies in Bakersfield.
I think with the Oilers, it's that of the guys they have in the minors right now, I don't know that any of them project to be NHL caliber goaltenders. So I think that's why you still draft a goalie, plus best player available. If it's a goalie, you draft a goalie. you can't have too many goalies in your system in general. I mean, I guess there's a limit, but there's no danger in drafting a goalie when it usually takes them 3 to 4 years to get close to the NHL.
I would rather my parents intentionally embarrass me than unintentionally. Our kids don't actually get embarrassed by us. They think that we are really funny. They think we are cool parents. Gabriel, especially our 17-year-old, he likes to have friends over. And his friends think that we're cool parents. And I'm not sure how that happened. I don't know. Maybe all their parents are lame or something.
How's the Flames 9 picks going in this draft? Andrew Basha was drafted by them 41st overall. He was seen as a guy who could have gone in the first round. So that's a pretty good pick for them. We'll see, right? There's going to be all kinds of articles of winners and losers when the draft's done. But in reality, we don't know because they're all 18-year-olds. They're kids.
Do the Penguins trading for Hayes signal a possible rebuild or retool?
Well, I mean, you don't trade for Hayes if you're going to do a retool. I think that they'll be looking for probably third-line production from Hayes. You had a draft pick as well, and it's just future considerations going the other way, and you hope Hayes can bounce back.
They take the border off during commercials, and that's what we were talking about earlier, that as it gets later, it's really hard to follow because
they're just gone.
By the time they get back to it,
there's like 5
there'll
picks,
be ones
and then they're just gone. Yeah, this is where I gave up years back. That's why I don't track all the draft picks from the second round beyond.
Yep.
Because it just doesn't matter.
Does Rutgers stay in Winnipeg now?
Not necessarily. I think McGroarty still ends up probably moving, but maybe it's for a pick next year. We don't know what Winnipeg's asking for at this point. They might be asking for a lot. There it is. There's the strip. Oh, you missed it.
No, now it's back to the just really big screen.
And so many chairs in weird spots. Like there'd be some angles there that'd be hard to see. Heikki Ruohonen. Oh, I like that name. That's good. It's got Heikki and then Ruohonen. That's great. See, at some point in time, we should just move to Finland just so I can meet people and go, what was your name? Oh, that name's awesome.
It's a good name.
That's a good. Can I write that down? And then I have like just a whole list of names of people.
Finnish names are always elite.
They're great. They're great.
Would McGroarty be a fit in Chicago?
Yes. And that might be because apparently the issue with McGroarty is that he wants a spot in the NHL right away. And the Jets aren't in a position where they can guarantee that, nor would they guarantee it. So Chicago probably could. San Jose probably could. I like McGroarty a lot, though.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, best name.
UPL is one of the best. Yep. Luke Osborne, drafted by Buffalo, defenseman.
Dated a Finn for a while and spent a long time in Helsinki. Never met a Finn without a phenomenal name.
Yeah, they'd be great names. Be fantastic.
What does future considerations mean?
Future considerations means that at some point in time, sometimes it's if this happens, if this guy scores this many, then you get this draft pick. Very often now, though, with future considerations, it's just we want to make this move. We reserve the right to come back to you later and look to make a trade, depending on what happens with this. And so they may have a trade later on where you say, well, why is that trade so lopsided? It might be part of the future considerations. That definitely happened in the 80s. It doesn't happen anywhere near as much now.
Sometimes turns into an AHL trade.
Yep.
So it's building goodwill.
That's the idea. The idea behind it is we'll take that off your hands. We reserve the right to come back to you later.
What are your favorite teams?
Canucks are number 1. So right here, Boston's number 2. And not LA. Dallas is number 3. So Dallas is 3rd on the list.
And I like Canucks, Jets, and Wild.
Yep.
Does Anaheim win a few more games this season?
Oh, they will. They will. I think they'll be right around that 500 mark next year with the right moves. I think they can get that high up.
I'm cheering for your national soccer team in Euro soccer tournament.
Very nice.
With Columbus drafting Lindstrom and seemingly being set at 1 and 2C, and the friction with the team last year, could Kent Johnson be moved?
That is highly probable, I would think, with Columbus. Although Johnson, I mean, could play on the wing. Lindstrom could play on the wing to start his career in the NHL as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Columbus does, because if they did decide to move Johnson, I would think, or Johnson, I should say, that there would likely be a lot of interest.
You guys going to visit the Flames' spiffy new arena
once they build it, once it's open. That's years down the road.
Sorry. Listening to the stream while getting my steps in the South Louisiana heat. Is it hockey season yet?
We're less than 100 days from the start of the next hockey season. So there's less time between hockey season ending and starting now than ever that I can remember. It's
always really short.
Yeah.
So much of the year is hockey.
Yep.
Lots of hockey. Not a fan of YouTube ads randomly cutting you off. Sorry about that. That's not something that we can pick. Time is moving too fast.
Yeah, once you get older, that gets worse. I was
about to say, that's what happens when you get old.
Older, it just gets worse. I remember when I was in my 20s playing like video games for days on end. And now I wouldn't even dream of that, because no, I don't want to waste a day playing just video games. I got stuff to do. I don't know how much time I got left. Get her done.
Yvonne, is there too much hockey in this house? No, actually, Shannon is really good. I think it helps that because Shannon does the videos, so he kind of gets a lot of that hockey out. And so when he's not doing videos, it's not all hockey. He definitely talks to me about hockey. Yeah, he talks to me about hockey a lot, but it's not too much because he's able to get that out with the camera.
Yeah.
I think if we didn't have the channel, I might be a little bit over hockeyed.
Yeah. That's what my ex said, that there's a lot of hockey.
And
when she said that, I thought, if I'd had a YouTube channel while her and I were together, she wouldn't have got nearly as much hockey talk.
That's true. True.
Well, because I don't have a social life. I don't go out and do stuff. So you're the person I'm talking to.
Right.
So, and that was what it was with her too. I didn't really have a social life and go out and do stuff. So every time something happened in hockey, I would talk to her, even though I knew she didn't give a damn about it. She was like, I gotta talk to somebody. There you go. Winnipeg just drafted Kevin He.
There we go. All right. See, and that's why it probably seems like I talk to you all the time, because I don't have you're it. And the kids, but really.
Yeah.
Can't really talk to the kids about.
I've tried. I've asked people to go out for coffee, and I get sure, and then nothing. So all right.
Steal of the draft so far. Oh, excuse me. All right. Kevin, who? What do you mean nobody's talking about the Sergachev trade? That's like everybody.
Oh, we've talked about the Sergachev trade.
It's been,
and I'll be doing a video on the Sergachev trade. Because the live stream, we won't be going much longer. It doesn't ever last as long on day 2 as it does the rest of it. We're up to pick number 110 now. Boston's on the clock. And Friedman's on the floor. That's why his posts about the trades have been very general. He hasn't necessarily got everybody that's involved in the trades. He'll fix that after the draft's done.
Is it just me or allergies really bad this year?
They're
awful.
Absolutely
really bad this year.
I'm having a hard time. I go outside to see the rabbits and come back in, and I can't breathe either. So yeah, they're bad this year.
The other day, mine were so bad, my eyes just couldn't stop watering. It was really obnoxious. But yes, they're really bad this year.
Yeah, it's bad.
Even our kids, our middle son has had a really hard time with his allergies. He thought he was catching a cold or something, and I was trying to explain to him that no, it's allergies. Really, did you notice that I was getting sick at the same time that you were? Look at this is what the weather's doing. It's because it's raining a ton, and then it gets really sunny. And then when it's cloudy, the air pressure is lower, holding all of that gunk and pollen and stuff in the air right at our level. So yeah, definitely worse. Kevin, is it Kevin he or Kevin? He plays for the Niagara Ice Dogs. Good pick.
Yep, they're going over his track record right now and his numbers and showing some highlights. Yeah, it's an interesting draft, and it's not a bad draft. I've seen people saying, "Oh, it's not a very good draft." It's a good draft. It's not star-studded, but it's a good draft.
Where are we from? We live in BC, Canada. We live about an hour, depending on traffic, away from Vancouver. Shannon, your social life and marriage experience sounds a lot like mine. You're not alone. LOL.
Yeah, people don't go out anymore.
No.
Nah.
No. A lot of people are like us. Just kind of stay in our own little bubble.
Yeah.
I think for us it's a bit different just because we are self-employed and work from home. So we really are only around each other. So I think that's where it's a bit different. Yvonne needs a shoulder pad.
Oh, the Bruins traded Lauco?
Ever been to the East Coast? I was in the New York airport.
I lived in Gander, Newfoundland when I was like a toddler. So that still counts to me as East Coast, but it was a while ago.
I've been to the New York airport and an airport in Georgia. And I went to, does Missouri count? It was terrible.
Missouri.
Do not recommend. Not doing that again.
All right, so we'll go until they get to the number 122 pick or number 120 pick. And then I got trade videos to do and then get myself ready for a game of street hockey this afternoon.
With Yvonne's glasses being that big, how does she miss all the Calgary questions?
Yeah.
Man, the Calgary people today.
It's my jersey.
My glasses aren't big. What are you talking about?
They're librarian glasses. Yeah, they are. Nice.
Shannon calls these my librarian glasses. My glasses are definitely not big.
Can you say these are due back Thursday?
Such a dork.
One of my favorite Kevin lines.
My dog's a Newfie Poo, and his name is Gander.
Perfect.
Here you go.
Perfect. We had a dog named Noof when I was a little kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's your street hockey game? It's in Coquitlam.
Hickey Park.
Yup. With all the trades, what team improved the most?
Utah has shown today that they're serious. Now they can take the fact that they've made the acquisitions they have into free agency and talk other guys to go into Utah. Utah's going to do well, I think.
Do you play any of the EA NHL 24 or past games?
I haven't enjoyed the EA games for a while. I think 17 was the last time I was really into it. I like using the hybrid stick rather than the skill stick. I'm not a huge fan of the skill stick, and they've made it so now if you're using hybrid, you're guaranteed not to be very good at it. So I did not enjoy playing the new game. I tried it a couple of times. I'm like, this sucks. I'm not a huge fan, so I'm kind of tapped out.
Shannon, you're super lucky. I always wanted to find a single female close to my age who is a huge Sharks fan. Never found one. I would suggest start by not calling them females. You can just call them women, but
my babe. My babe. I mean, it did take me a long time.
Hockey stuff.
It
to
did.
Find
It did take a long time.
huge
It
Sharks
did.
fans. But
we both had prior relationships, which taught us some things, and now we're here.
a lot. We definitely both learned lots from previous relationships, and I think that's part of why, or part of how we work well together.
So all the things that I do to drive her crazy, she ignores them. All the things she does to drive me crazy, I ignore them. It works.
It's true, because
and we really don't listen to each other. It just works. Yeah.
True. Yeah. That is how relationships work best.
Yeah,
Ignore them.
We just hang out, we get along, and we just ignore everything. We don't care. That's fine.
You need to make a Tinder for hockey fans on your stream. I don't know. It'd be a whole bunch of guys.
Like
a lot of other dating sites, so fine.
Yeah, that wouldn't go very well. Wow, 3 goalies in a row. 3 goalies picked in a row. Kempf, Gamson, and Kirsch by the Capitals, the Islanders, and the Sharks.
I feel like Shannon, and I'm only 20.
I felt like me at 20 as well, so it happens.
But see, look at all this. If you feel like all of this, you're in luck. Yep.
I don't know.
You
get random aches and pains here and there. I don't know how much.
What is the biggest lesson you each learned from a previous relationship? Ooh.
Make sure you're really compatible.
Intense. Yeah, see, I
ignored the compatibility a lot because I was like, well, we're not compatible, but it's better than being single.
Which is so not true. Yep, I can remember that and finally realizing, no, you know what? It's better to be alone than be with somebody that I don't actually enjoy being around.
Yeah.
Enjoying being around the person is a huge deal.
Yep.
That is, to me, the biggest thing. And then just for getting along with your person once you found them, don't worry about the stupid little stuff, because in the end, it doesn't actually matter. Like, there are ways that Shannon and I are very different, but they aren't things that actually matter.
Right.
So don't stress about those things. And remember that they are their own individual person. They will have their own thoughts, their own opinions.
And for me,
that has to be
I also live by the rules of Zombieland. I have found them to be very useful in my everyday life. I always check the back seat when I get into a vehicle, for instance. I haven't had a reason to use double tap, but that's something to keep in the back of your mind just in case there is a zombie outbreak. I'm all set. I'm good to go.
You're such a dork.
Hey, I felt that when he was like, you got to check bathrooms. I was like, you know what? I've been scared of public bathrooms for my entire life. This guy, this main character really speaks to me.
Yvonne, female, women, either way means the same. Thank you for letting me know that. Aww. I had no idea that female
you
meant
learned
women.
Something today. I'm so happy for you.
But
I'm
women
so proud of your learning.
Don't generally like to be called females. You're welcome.
How about keepers of the uterus?
I don't have a uterus, so I am not a keeper of a uterus. I'm a chuck that thing away, because who wants that? Not me.
I don't have one either. See, now we have something in common.
Come for the hockey talk and we get zombie talk.
Well,
you're welcome.
It's only a matter of time, right? Like it's eventually going to happen. So you got to be ready for that. I used to have in my previous relationship, I would talk to my kids.
Words male and female are used for all animals. Yes, but people as individuals don't prefer to be called that.
I just call her the hotness. She seems to accept that.
He does sometimes.
Yeah, it's the hotness. And then numerous other comments that get thrown at her. Hey, Bun. I've been told that you chew cardboard because you're starving.
Females like tamales. Okay, that's funny.
You going back to finish your treats?
When is the hockey talk? when people ask hockey questions. This is what I was talking about earlier, that a lot of times the conversation
it just does. It just
That's
naturally does that.
When we're on here, we've been on here for over 2 hours.
It naturally does that. That's how that works. Very often. See, and then when it's just me running the live stream, it doesn't meander as much, but I find it kind of gets a little boring and probably a little dry. And so it's better when you're there.
Forget hockey talk. Nachos or loaded fries? Nachos.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of French fries. So.
No. I can't. I'm kind of ticked that Boston traded Lauko. I like Lauko. I guess they didn't. Well, that'll make Boston fans happy. That solves all your problems when you trade Lauko and bring in Lettieri. I mean, I'm not saying Lettieri's a bad player or anything. Just, it's an odd deal. I'm not sure why.
Do you ever have to put Shannon in the box in real life for stupid things?
Not exactly. This is kind of the box, though. She just leaves the set and knows I won't follow her out, and she gets peace and quiet without me. So, is generally how that works. Or I start, bugging her, and she's like, "Don't you have to go to the set? Don't you have to hockey?
Yeah. Don't you have hockey you need to do? Do you
Especially
need to
when
go
I'm trying to help her with making the bed.
Can we please get back to the draft? Well, right now it's a Wendy's commercial.
Yeah, Wendy's is keeping it fresh till midnight or later.
So that's how that works. Loaded fries usually get too mushy. It's true.
Oh, there's bunny rabbits in the car
I
commercial.
like poutine though. I'm not a big fan of fries. So.
Oh, this is the one where everything the kid asks for, they take him to. That's a dangerous precedent.
I hear Lightning are in on Gensel.
That'll be a surprise since they can't officially talk to him until the 1st. You cannot officially talk to a player before the 1st. They had, for a few years there, they had it where you had a certain period of time you could pre-negotiate. The problem was when July 1st rolled around, there was absolutely zero surprises because all the deals had already been worked out. All the contracts had been signed. So, yeah, they did away with that to try to bring the surprise back into July the 1st. Because yesterday, he was supposed to be close to signing, maybe to stay in Carolina. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Gensel because the Canucks desperately want Gensel.
A good poutine is way better than good nachos, but bad nachos are generally still better than bad poutine. Poutine has a higher ceiling, nachos higher floor. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I can go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Bun. Did you finally finish all your treats?
As long as it's the slow walking zombies, if they're the run fast ones, I'm screwed.
That's why I'm on the treadmill all the time. I got to be ready.
That's why. That's why you do the
I got to be ready.
To prepare for zombies.
Zombie apocalypse. I got to be ready.
Bun. Is that right?
But no,
She's like, what treats?
But she just finished treats I gave her, and then she's been eating cardboard. I already gave her a piece of muffin this morning.
Look at this face. She's starving. Look at her.
She's not starving.
She's so starving. Look at she's so tiny and wasting away.
That is not a starving rabbit.
She's wasting away. Look at this
is
little
not
belly.
A starving rabbit. But when she sees me in the morning, she dances because she's really excited to see me. Hey, Bun.
But I didn't get a treat.
Because I'm the bringer of the treats. That's what it is.
Fluff. She is super fluffy. Isn't she adorable, though?
She's a giant
The buns are adorable, and they're so poofy.
Agreed. Oh, Victor Johansson drafted 120th overall by the Leafs.
Do your rabbits ever bite? No.
Not on purpose.
We've never had any actual rabbit bites. Our waffles, our special bun, she will nip every once in a while, which doesn't feel very good. But but she doesn't bite. But she's a different sort of bun. Yes, our rabbits are litter box trained. She would not be out just running around if she was not.
Yeah, they're trained
litter box
and they're
trained.
all
That would
fixed.
be so icky.
They're all fixed. They're all trained.
We do
Aaron
have
Kivihario goes to Minnesota.
Oh, there you go. We do have wild bunnies. We get wild bunnies in our yard quite frequently. Our oldest at home is in Special Olympics golf, and at the golf course there are so many rabbits, and so he loves golf because he sees so many rabbits.
There we go. So Aaron Kiviharu comes off the board. 122nd to Minnesota.
Wow. Do your rabbits ever watch hockey on TV?
You know what? Funny thing with that, the rabbits know when hockey's done. During the season, I'm in here watching hockey games. They know I'm going to be in here. When the hockey's done and I turn the TV off, they know it's time to go upstairs. So I turn the TV off, I do the review, and as soon as I'm done, they go right upstairs because they know that's it. Room's closed up for tonight, and they go up to the rest of the rabbits.
The rabbits don't watch the TV screen like cats do, though.
No. They know when the TV turns off, that means I'm done and I'm going to be leaving.
Yeah.
So now they've got like an internal clock where around 9 o'clock, if the door is open in my room, they go out and they go upstairs.
So our rabbits are all free roam rabbits, but they're not allowed to be on the set at night. No, because there's too many.
And then my issue too is
misbehave.
that during the winter it gets too cold in here. And then during some times of the summer, it gets too hot in here. So I want them trained that at a certain point, they know that they're going to have to leave. So they don't just settle in here.
Do the cats ever fight with the rabbits?
Not generally. Every now and then, Shadow will give one a smack or Maple.
The rabbits would win, though.
But generally, no. The cats usually leave the rabbit. Usually, if anything, Shadow startles them, but he doesn't attack them or anything. Shadow's really clumsy and he's huge.
The rabbits pick on the cats more often than the cats pick on the rabbits.
Oh, Bear gets put out of whatever she's doing by Cinnabon a lot. Yeah. Where Cinnabon will just go over and smack her because they do have pretty big claws, so they go over and smack the cats. That's enough. They're done.
Cats ever smack you on the face? Shadow.
That's why I don't play with Shadow.
Shadow has attitude.
I don't play with Shadow. I don't do it. Riley Patterson's drafted by the Canucks. So now of Patterson.
Be in a line together.
Well, they can't. One Patterson's a blue liner.
Oh, there you go.
So Patterson. Good. All right. Well,
that'll be easy.
They need to draft a Peterson now. They need Peterson. They're ready for a law firm at that point.
How easy is it to litter box train rabbits? Considering everyone
they pick it up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
they're not 100%. You're still gonna get a little bit of a mess here and there. But it's relatively easy to clean up. They don't.
Rabbit poop is super.
Their
easy.
Droppings are not,
and it's not many.
Yeah, it's not. They're not like cats and dogs that way.
Yeah.
It's just pellets. So.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty easy because rabbits, like cats, always want to keep that in one spot, and they use where they eat. So we have their litter box with their hay and their pellets right there, and so they naturally use that area, and then they figure out how to use a litter box really quickly. We had most of our buns from when they were babies because they were born to our rabbits, and we never had a problem with litter training them.
All right. So
they can definitely chew on things.
They really do.
We don't have the rabbits that chew on the walls or anything, but upstairs where they mainly are, I have this what are those modular things called? You can build like little shelves with them. I have them along the wall so they don't chew on baseboards, because when Jet was tiny, she would chew on baseboards.
Chickens.
But they don't now. And we don't have to have them anywhere else but cords. We have to make sure there are no cords on the floor anywhere.
We've got the covers, the protective covers for the cords. But that's one reason why Jet doesn't come in here. Jet was a rabbit that I had on my set a lot earlier on. She doesn't get along with Cinnabon for one, but for two, she chews everything. And so down here is not an option for Jet because she would chew through cords. When we moved out of the other house into this one, I found out how much she was chewing on things on my set.
Yeah.
Like my TV was one chew away from not being usable. Various things that she got into. So Yeah, I don't bring
We're
her down
very,
here.
very careful with cords. Cats love bags and boxes.
Cats love boxes. They really do.
We have 2 kitties that like to chew on plastic bags too.
All right.
Usually
Anyways,
at 4 a.m.
I should get going now. I'm going to do some trade videos for all you
Lots.
fine people on the internet, for all the trades that have gone down. They're up to pick number 127. They're going to be going for a while. But again, the Canucks draft Riley Patterson at 225th. So they have Patterson, and Patterson now. So there you go.
Oh.
The law firm office joke was elite. Didn't get enough from the chat. Mrs. Shout out from Fort Lauderdale. Thanks for watching from Fort Lauderdale. Go Bortles. Does he right? Because Florida, Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
All right. But yeah, thanks for watching. Greatly appreciated you guys were here. Tune in on Monday for the live stream when we get to Free Agent Frenzy and we get to see what all the teams are going to do with this cap money that they've been saving. So yeah, looking forward to that, and I will talk to you guys again
For you
soon
local
enough.
people, see you at the meetup.
Yep, meet up today at 4:00 at Hickey Park. So see you there.